Now, public schools are expected to implement full face-to-face classes starting November, but private schools may still continue with their blended learning modalities.
Now, aside from this, the DepEd is looking into removing the mother tongue language or subject in the K-12 curriculum. Camille Samonte with a big story.
Public schools are still expected to implement full in-person classes. This comes after the Education Department's Order Number 34 series of 2022. Exceptions to this order include schools authorized by the regional director, as well as classes that were canceled due to disasters and those using alternate delivery means. On the other hand, private schools will be allowed to keep using blended or total distance learning beyond November 2. DepEd amended its earlier order, requiring private schools to transition into full face-to-face classes. In a statement, the agency maintained its confidence in the benefits of holding face-to-face classes. DepEd likewise expressed hope that parents and guardians of private school students would not miss the abundance of scientific studies available. Meanwhile, the mother tongue subject may soon be removed in a bid to decongest the K-12 curriculum. That's according to DepEd Undersecretary Epimako Densing during a Senate hearing on Monday.
In the whole revision of the K-12 or K-3 curriculum, we will be freeing up 50 minutes of teaching the mother tongue as a subject and rechannel it to our national reading program and national math program.
Densing likewise assured that mother tongue will continue to be used as a medium of instruction in classrooms. He said the matter was still being finalized but discussed on a consensual basis.
We are ready to make that pivot, but in the meantime, since this is the mandate of the law, we will continuously use the mother tongue as part of the languages or medium of instruction in the K-3 program.
The DepEd has been undertaking a review of the basic education curriculum following the poor performance of Filipino students in international learning assessments. For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
Now, to further explain the new DepEd order, we have with us on the line DepEd spokesperson attorney Michael Poa. Good evening and welcome to the big story. Spokespoa, to begin with, why just private schools? Why are they afforded the privilege of extended blended learning, and why is that not afforded or at least given the same platform as well for public schools? What makes it different?
Yes, hi. Good evening, Sir Jess, Ma'am Riza. So let me just explain the whole thing. No? So we issued a mandatory DO today, amending DO 34. So you were asking why the treatment for public schools and why a different treatment for private schools. Tayo naman po kasi sa DepEd, we really are of the position, based on several studies, international studies, that in-person classes are really more advantageous for our learners, not just for academic performance or academic development, but also for mental health. So guided by those studies, talagang ang gusto po natin is in-person classes. That's why under DO 34, the plan was really a 5-day in-person class for all. Now, why did we decide to continue with the options in terms of the private schools? Tayo naman kasi sa DepEd, we are also cognizant, we are aware of the situation and the impact of COVID-19 and the pandemic on the private schools. We know that the private schools invested heavily to be able to adjust to distance or online learning. We have also seen them develop yung talagang framework for blended learning. They were able to really develop the strategies for blended learning. And also, we've seen a lot of the smaller private schools close in the recent weeks. Mm-hmm. And so, to give them that flexibility, we allowed them to continue with the said options. But at the same time, we are still encouraging them to have a look at the studies and see the advantages of in-person classes in terms of the learner's development.
Attorney, kamustahin lang po namin. So far, how was the implementation of this back to face-to-face classes? We've been getting reports that some students have been contracting the virus.
Well, yes. COVID, you're talking about COVID, ma'am.
Yes.
Of course, with COVID, we cannot naman deny that there have been reports of learners, teachers, non-teaching staff testing positive for COVID. It's no different to the situation we have in office settings, in malls, for example. So, yung tendency na magkaroon ng positive, nandiyan po talaga yan. However, what we are doing right now is we are closely monitoring the situation, having our schools report all these cases to their LGUs so that verification and follow-ups may be done. And what we are trying to avoid here is a surge that will really exhaust the critical care systems that we have. But in terms of yung controlling COVID, of course, we have our minimum public health standards in place. We have issued the latest health guidelines on that, which includes wearing a face mask, ventilation, etc. All pursuant to the latest IATF and POH guidelines.
And then, of course, we have this bit of issue about the possibility of removing the mother tongue as a subject in the curriculum. Isn't this going to be a bit counterproductive here for the agency? I mean, we do understand, like in the report earlier, you have Yusek Dancing saying, just have to look at the communities. It's actually being used as a vernacular. Why use it as part of the curriculum or whatnot? But at the same time, don't you see the need to actually use our mother tongue in order for us to better improve comprehending other subjects? So minsan yun yung difficulty ng mga bata when you try to use a different language in teaching whatever subject, whether it be math or science. Kaya din nahihirapan sila to actually cope up with the subject.
Yes, sir. We definitely appreciate the differing views on the mother tongue. In fact, and I apologize, because right now, the K-12 curriculum is still undergoing review. The K-10 curriculum is still undergoing consultations, meaning we are presenting them to our stakeholders across the country, whether it be academia or other private stakeholders. And so I would think it's actually premature for us to comment on what will be removed or what will be retained at the moment, because it's still undergoing consultations, and it will be best to probably speak about this once there's a final version na po.
Okay, definitely. We're going to ask you for updates on that one once that proceeds, of course. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
Of course, yes, no
DepEd
problem.
spokesperson, Attorney Michael Poa.